Welcome back to Complete Aviation Solutions for another deep dive.
Deep dive number 46.
46.
Yeah.
You got it. And this time we're going to be looking at, well,
A whole bunch of different stories.
yeah, a lot of recent news actually that really caught our eye.
Right. Lots of changes.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems like a lot of it is focused on how airlines are expanding and connecting different places.
Yeah.
Like
Asia,
so-
India,
Pacific.
all across that whole region.
It's a pretty dynamic period, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Lots of growth, and I think some really smart moves happening, too.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the different ways they're doing it. I mean, we're seeing everything from these classic code shares, right?
Yeah, the code shares joint ventures, sure.
But also, like, really fast network expansions. And they're putting these brand new aircraft into service.
Yeah, and it all kind of points to how travel demand is changing. People want to go to different places now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's maybe start with this whole India-New Zealand thing.
Okay, sounds good.
What is going on there? It looks like Air New Zealand and Air India are teaming up.
Yeah. They want to make travel between India and New Zealand way easier.
So it'll be like a straight shot down under.
Well, not exactly a straight shot, but more convenient for sure.
Right.
They signed this thing called a Memorandum of Understanding. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying they're serious about working together.
Serious about this, yeah.
Yeah. And they're planning a pretty big code share partnership. We're talking 16 routes. 16 routes. So that means, let's say you're in Delhi and you want to go to Auckland. You might book a flight with Air India, but one of those flights might actually be on an Air New Zealand plane, you know?
Oh, I see. So you're kind of hopping between the two airlines, but it's all under one ticket?
Exactly. And those connections, they usually happen through like Sydney, Melbourne, or Singapore. Big hubs, you know?
16 routes. That's a pretty big deal, right? It shows they're really serious about this.
Oh, yeah. They want to make it easy for people to travel between those two countries. And it's not just about convenience. It's also about tourism, you know? Both airlines want more people to visit their countries. This code share makes it easier to get there, and it kind of raises awareness, you know?
Right. Like they're saying, hey, come check us out. It's not that hard to get here anymore.
Exactly. And I think this might just be the beginning. They're actually talking about direct flights.
Wow. Direct flights from India to New Zealand.
Yeah, by the end of 2028. Now, that's a long way off, and there are a lot of challenges.
Yeah, I bet. What kind of challenges are we talking about?
Well, first off, you need the right planes. Those are long flights, so you need aircraft that can handle it.
Right. And do it efficiently.
Yeah. Got to make sure it makes financial sense, too. And then there's all the regulatory stuff.
Yeah, you got to get permission from both countries.
Permits, approvals, all that. It's not simple. But the fact that they're even considering it shows how important they think this connection could be.
Wow. Yeah, that's some serious long-term thinking.
Definitely. Okay, so we've talked about India and New Zealand. Now let's jump over to a different part of the world.
Okay, where are we going now?
Africa and the Middle East. There's a big joint venture happening between Etihad and Ethiopian Airlines.
Interesting. What's the story there?
So this one's interesting because it's not just about two airlines working together. They're actually aiming to, transform how people travel across 3 continents.
Whoa, 3 continents?
Yeah. Africa, the Middle East, and Asia.
That's ambitious.
Super ambitious. They're not just adding a few flights here and there. They want to make it way easier to travel between all those regions.
So it'll be like a whole new network of flights.
Yeah, and they're starting with a code share agreement.
Okay, so that's like what Air India and Air New Zealand are doing.
Exactly. But this one's even bigger because it covers so many more places, and they're also launching new direct flights.
Where are these direct flights going to be?
Between Abu Dhabi and Addis Ababa.
Okay, those are their main hubs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ethiopian Airlines is starting their flights in July, and Etihad will start theirs in October.
Daily flights.
Yeah, daily flights for Etihad. So that tells you they're pretty confident about the demand on that route.
Yeah, that's a lot of flights. And from Addis Ababa, you can connect to all sorts of places in Africa.
Exactly. It's a major hub. So this new connection with Abu Dhabi opens up a lot of possibilities.
It sounds like they're really trying to create a whole new travel ecosystem.
That's a great way to put it. And they're not stopping there. They want to expand even more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, more routes between the UAE and Ethiopia, and then better connections to other parts of the world, too.
It's pretty exciting. But they'll need to get approval, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Regulatory approval is key for all this, but their vision is pretty clear.
It is. And it looks like Ethiopian Airlines is putting some of their best planes on that new Abu Dhabi route.
Yeah, the Boeing 777 and the Airbus A350-1000, those are some serious aircraft.
Yeah, they're not messing around. Okay, now let's talk about VIetJet. They're doing some pretty interesting things too, right?
Oh, yeah, VietJet is on a roll. They're expanding like crazy.
They are, and they're adding all these new routes. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling how quickly they're growing.
They just announced new nonstop flights from Ho Chi Minh City to Nagoya and Fukuoka in Japan.
Okay, so they're connecting Vietnam and Japan.
Yeah, and that's just part of it. In the last 2 months, they've announced 10 new international routes.
10.
10 new routes. That's huge. And they're not just focusing on Japan either.
Where else are they going?
They're also expanding their network between Vietnam and India. They just launched direct flights to Hyderabad and Bengaluru.
Oh, wow. So they're really going after both Northeast Asia and South Asia.
Yeah, they see opportunities in both markets.
They're really trying to become a major player in Asia, aren't they?
It seems that way. I mean, what's driving this kind of growth? It's got to be a mix of things, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they have a whole strategy behind it.
Yeah, they're probably looking at where the demand is, where they can offer competitive fares, and how they can grow their market share.
Right, right. And they already had a pretty decent network to India, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. They were flying to Delhi, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Kochi, all the big cities. Now with Hyderabad and Bengaluru, they've got pretty much every major Indian city covered.
And they're flying there pretty frequently, too.
Multiple flights a week. They're making it really easy to travel between Vietnam and India, whether it's for business or leisure.
All right, let's move on to Emirates. They're rolling out their new A350s, and it sounds like they're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, Emirates is being pretty strategic about where they're putting these new planes.
So where are these A350s going to be flying?
Well, a lot of the early routes are in the Middle East and Europe. Makes sense, right? Those are their bread and butter markets.
But they're going further afield, too, right?
Exactly. They're introducing the A350 to Africa, and get this, for the first time, to Southeast Asia.
Oh, wow. So they're really expanding the reach of this new aircraft.
Yeah, and the first Southeast Asian destination for the A350 is going to be Ho Chi Minh City.
That's pretty cool. I wonder what passengers will think of it.
I think they'll be impressed. Emirates is all about that premium experience.
Yeah.
So where else are these A350s going? Tunis and Amman in June, then Istanbul and Dammam in July.
Okay, keep going.
Then Ho Chi Minh City and Baghdad in August, and finally Oslo in September.
Wow, that's a lot of new routes.
And they're not just launching new routes, they're also increasing the number of A350 flights to Bahrain and Kuwait.
Okay, so they're really making this plane a key part of their fleet.
Absolutely. And they're even bumping up the A350 debut in Bologna, so it'll be flying there earlier than they originally planned.
So what's so special about this A350? What can passengers expect?
Well, Emirates is really emphasizing the passenger experience. They've got all the latest cabin innovations.
Fancy.
They've got lie-flat seats in business class with little mini bars. Yeah, and their premium economy cabin is supposed to be really comfortable. Plus, they've redesigned economy class too, so it should be a bit more spacious.
And what about the technology? Are there any cool gadgets?
Oh, yeah. They've got wireless charging in business class, and they've upgraded their in-flight entertainment system.
So bigger screens?
Yeah, bigger screens, 4K resolution.
Wow.
And you can connect 2 Bluetooth devices at the same time. And they've got faster USB-C charging in every seat, so you can keep all your gadgets powered up.
Yeah, that's a must these days. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about VietJet and Sabre. This one's a little more technical, but it could have a big impact on how people book flights.
It's all about distribution, you know.
Yeah, explain that.
So Sabre is like this giant network that connects airlines with travel agents all over the world.
Okay, I see.
And VietJet just signed a deal with them.
So what does that mean?
It means that for the first time, VietJet's flights will be available on Sabre's system, so travel agents everywhere can book them.
That's a pretty big deal, right?
Huge deal. It
Yeah.
gives VietJet access to a much wider customer base.
Yeah, because now anyone using Sabre can book a VietJet flight.
Exactly. That makes them way more visible.
And for travel agents, it gives them more options.
Yeah, and potentially better prices for their clients, especially in Southeast Asia and India, where VietJet has a lot of flights.
Right. So it's good for both the airline and the travelers.
Absolutely. It makes the whole booking process smoother and more efficient.
So even though it's kind of behind-the-scenes stuff, it can really affect the travel experience.
Oh, yeah, definitely. These global distribution systems are crucial to how the whole industry works.
They're kind of like the invisible backbone.
That's a great way to put it. And this deal with Sabre lets VietJet tap into that backbone and reach a whole new level.
It's amazing how much is happening in the aviation world right now, especially in Asia, India, and the Pacific.
It's super dynamic.
I mean, we've got airlines forming alliances, expanding their routes, launching new planes, and using technology in new ways. It's all about growth and connection.
And it's not just about what the airlines are doing. It's about how all of this affects you, the traveler.
Right, right. And I think that's what makes it so fascinating.
Exactly, because all these different strategies, they're going to shape the future of air travel.
Yeah, they're going to affect how much we pay, where we can fly, and what it's like to get there.
It's definitely a landscape worth keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. So that's it for this deep dive.
Deep dive number 46.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time
See ya.
on Complete Aviation Solutions.
Bye.